Hey Emily, it's your dad. I made this video for you, baby. I wish I had you in my life. I wish you could forgive your dad for what I've done to you in the past. And I want you to understand, Emily, that's because I really love you and I cared about you. While it was tough, I'm sorry for the mean things I told you. I know I told you that I wanted a boy because I felt like you were oversensitive. You're being over dramatic. I understand you live in Orange County, California. Baby, you have to understand it's different than any other place in the world, the United States of America. So I ask you to forgive me because it's because of you why I became who I am today, Emily. And I really want you to know that I love you as your father. If you look at the clothes I have on, Vans shoes, I'm not that flexible anymore. The Vans hat. Do you want to know why? Because when I had you in my life, Emily, I remember when I bought you your first pair of Vans, you really loved them. And it meant a lot to me because I seen how happy you were. When I was with you and your mom, I don't forget that day. But Emily, I want you to know that I love you as your dad. That I always wanted what was best for you. So I'm sorry, hon, if you think that I was being a little too rough to you, or if like you got scared of me. I didn't want that at all, because you understand I was raised up different than you, Emily. My dad beat me up when I was wrong. I got beat up, and baby, you have to understand that Daddy was raised up differently, so my ways of parenting is completely different than the way it is now. I understand the society that we live in, but for me as a parent, I don't think it's fair that I have to worry about the DCS, the child support, or the Department of Child Services, because they would have taken you away from me if they would have seen that I was being angry at you, or if I was verbally abusive to you because I wasn't allowed to hit you. Emily, and look, I'm sorry to tell you this, but as your dad, I want to correct you when you're wrong. I want to teach you the right way. Okay, and you have to understand, baby, I know that you're smart and everything. I wanted what was best for you. It was hard for me to adapt to the way the world is now because I wasn't raised that way. Nothing was ever easy for me. And you have to understand that I learned through tough love. I learned, from every time I was wrong, I got beat up. Every time I had to go through stuff, it wasn't easy. It was always hard for me. And baby, you shouldn't have to go through the same thing that your dad went through. I know you're tough. You're a survivalist. You're really a tough girl, baby. But your dad just wanted what was best for you. So you can't get mad at me for the rest of your life, thinking that I was against you, because I was never against you. I'm your only dad. I'm your real dad, and it's hard for me to be your dad the way that your mom is. And baby, you have to understand that me and your mom, things didn't work out, and I have to be very respectful when I'm talking about your mom, because there's a lot of things that I didn't want to tell you. Okay, it's hard for me to tell you what really happened between me and her. And baby, it's hard for me to fix that kind of problem, okay? You're still a little girl, and it's hard for me to raise you up and expect you to be a woman already. I wanted you to enjoy life. I wanted you to be happy for life. But at the same time, I cared about, who your friends are, where you're at, if you're doing your homework, if you're focused on school. Because baby, I can tell you right now that this world that we live in, it's a very cold place. And I didn't want you to be hurt. There's a lot of messed up people out there, Emily. There's a lot of people you can't trust in this world. I'm telling you right now, to do whatever it takes to take advantage of you and to take everything you have, Emily. I wanted to protect you from those people. Truth is that I love you, Emily, and I want you to know that. As your father, I love you, Emily. So you can't get mad at me when I was trying to toughen you up when I expect the best from you, Emily. I know you may be too young to understand this, but you're my daughter, and you're my only child I have. I don't want another kid because I don't want another kid to go through what I had to go through. And I feel like with you, Emily, your birth wasn't an accident, baby, because I love you. You know, like I know things didn't work out between me and your mom. It doesn't mean that I don't love you, Emily, okay? Don't think not another day goes by that I don't feel guilty that I'm not in your life, that I'm not being a real father I should be with you. And I try to convince myself that you just didn't want me to be your dad, that you wanted to live your own life. I try to convince myself that. But I still have dreams about you. I still feel responsible for your life. Although you may not want me in your life, I still feel responsible for your life. And Emily, I remember when I was in your life, I have pictures to prove this to you. But I really loved you. I love being your dad. I love spending time with you and just being there for your life. But your mom didn't want us to have that kind of relationship, okay? I can't say anything about your mom on camera, but I can tell you, Emily, that in my position, Emily, it's very hard to tell you what's really going on and why I am the way I am, Emily, okay? I hope one day you can understand that, because it's like, Emily, I tried my best, okay? I love you, and I want you to know that you're my only child. I don't plan to have another child in my life, you know, because I feel bad. I don't want you to think you're a mistake because you weren't, because you're my only child, Emily. If I pass away, you're like, you know, the way I am, it lives on through you, Emily. The way you feel, the way you look at life, it's for me. All those dreams you have, it's for me, Emily. The way you feel, how you try to always be tough, how you try to always be better, that's for me, Emily. Because, you know, like, nothing was ever given easy for me. If you knew my father, your grandpa, you would understand a lot more than what you know now. You, baby, I gave you a good life, meaning that you could choose whatever you want to be. If you want to be white, Asian, Mexican, Emily, well, it's all in your blood, Emily. You can be whatever you want to be. And I'm pretty sure you know this. Being an Asian American, it's a disadvantage sometimes in a lot of ways. And I don't want to get into that, but, you know, like, I don't want you to feel uncomfortable under your own skin, Emily. I love you, and I just wish that I could be in your life, Emily. That's why I'm making this video, so you know that I really loved you, okay? There's not a day that goes by that I don't think about you, Emily. I want what's best for you, and I wish your mom would have allowed me to be your father. It's very hard for me to work. There's so many people in my life that didn't want me to be your dad, Emily. And I'm going to tell you this, the truth. It just really hurt me when I felt that you didn't want me to be your dad, Emily. And you're my only child. You're the only thing besides myself I care about in this world, Emily. I didn't feel that you had the right to ignore your dad like this because you don't understand, because you're still young. But I love you, and I know the society that we live in. I know there's a lot of liars, a lot of crooked people out there. When I try to be your dad, they're going to make it seem like that I'm being an abusive father when I'm not. I just can't allow you. When you're wrong, Emily. You have to be corrected. And I understand you're not a boy, you're not a man. But you know, Emily, when I'm your dad, when I really love you, I'm going to make sure you're the best at what you do. So any way I can do to make you the best at who you are inside, Emily, I'm going to do that as your father. And I understand that you didn't trust me. You don't understand the bigger picture, Emily. But I really love you inside. I'm sorry if I wasn't the most loving dad, if I wasn't the most sensitive. But Emily, look at your mom. Okay? That says a lot. Your mom, in a lot of ways, she's a good woman. She's successful at what she does. But Emily, you have to understand that things didn't work out between me and your mom for a good reason. And this is something that I'll tell you when I feel that you're at the right age. But right now, Emily, you're still a little girl, Emily. I understand you have my blood in you and you think you can do whatever you want. You're old enough to be an adult, but you're not, Emily. Okay? And you should be thankful for that, because when you're an adult, Emily, so this is a very cold world. When people see you as an adult, Emily, when you're wrong, Emily. There's no forgiveness. Okay? There's no one that's not gonna feel sorry for you. If you're homeless, you're gonna be treated like crap for the rest of your life, Emily. There's no one that's gonna help you. All those friends you thought you had, they're gonna turn their back on you, Emily, because they only care about themselves. They want to be successful in their own right. And they'll do whatever it takes to get on the top, Emily. They'll take whatever you have, they'll lie to you, they'll do whatever. There's more to it than that, Emily, and I'm in this video, I'm just trying to say everything the best way I can without you being offended, Emily. I understand that at times, Emily, it's hard to talk to you. You just ignore me. You ignore me for a lot of years, Emily, and that's why I try to convince myself that you don't love your dad. You don't want me in your life, Emily. And you know how hard it is for me to tell you that? I didn't want that for you, Emily. I didn't. I really wish you were in my life, Emily. You're my only child. I love you with all my heart as your dad. I would have done anything for you, Emily. I'm not rich. I'm not in a mansion. But your dad works very hard for a living. You didn't know that. I'm doing the best that I can. I know where you're at, Emily. I know, like, you gotta be real. You gotta have money. Everything's all about money, Emily. And I'm pretty sure you're getting to understand that at your age. You're beginning to see where you're living at, and everything revolves all about money. Everything's all about money, Emily. And I want you to be smart. I want you to live a good life. I don't want you in the ghetto, Emily. I don't want you to suffer. I don't want you with the wrong man, and then, you know, like, you have kids with the wrong man, Emily, and now you're miserable and you're suffering for the rest of your life, Emily. I don't want that. I want to be your dad. I want to teach you the right way. I want you to be a good, honest, hardworking woman. I want you to have a brain. I want you to be successful in everything you do. And you don't have to struggle. You don't have to be, you know, like that. And I don't want you to be too stuck up, because you gotta understand, maybe in life, not everyone's lucky, not everyone's fortunate like you. Not everybody was given this opportunity to be something in life. A lot of those dreams were taken away from people, and it's all because you got a lot of greedy people out there, Emily. They'll do whatever it takes to get to the top. They'll throw a lot of people on the bottom. I'm trying to tell you this very respectfully, Emily, and that's why, as your father, I just, you know, I love you, and I wish you would have trusted your own dad, your own flesh and blood, Emily. I understand yourself better than you think you know about yourself, because I've been alive a lot longer than you, Emily. I've been on this earth, and I can tell you right now, Emily, when you get older, it's not going to be what you think it is. It's going to be very, very cold. If you want to learn how to grow up very quickly, well, I can tell you right now, Emily, you got too much of a big heart. Okay? You have a good heart, Emily, because of me. Your dad, I had a good heart, but I had to do what I had to survive, Emily. Okay, and I don't want you to go through what I had to go through, Emily. You're smarter than that. You're better than that. That's one thing I can agree with your mom about. I loved that woman before. Okay, your mom, I loved her before, but things change, Emily. Life is not as perfect as I thought it was. It's not as easy as just finding your true love and just staying with her for the rest of your life. It's not that easy, Emily. You have a good heart, Emily, and I don't want you to be with a man that's just using you. I don't want you to be with a man that everything sounds good today, but tomorrow, the next 5-10 years, it all changes, Emily. People change all the time, and that's not your fault. You have a good heart, and you're always going to be loyal. You're always going to be a good woman. But a lot of people, they don't see it that way, Emily. That's the reason why It was tough on you because I didn't want you to suffer like I did, Emily. I know it's hard for you to believe your own dad, but baby, I love you, okay? And I just don't want to know if you're suffering. I don't want to know if you're going through something with your mom because it's going to kill me inside. It's going to kill me inside because I'm your dad and I love you. You're my only daughter, Emily, my only child. And you think I don't care about you, I really do, Emily. You don't think I don't remember the times that we were together? That, you know, we were swimming in the pool, all the pictures we took together? That means a lot to me, Emily. You're my only child, okay? I don't want another child because I don't want to have this happen to me again. My only child taken away from me, okay? That's not cool, Emily. That's not. I really wish I had money, because if I had money, I have you in my life right now. I'll pay for everything for you to be in my life, Emily. Okay? I'm not gonna blame your mom for everything, but you know, Emily, there's some things that's not my fault, and I wish you could see that. It's not my fault, and I pray to God. I got you a Bible, Emily. I really want you to have a relationship with God, because I understand we live in a world that everything revolves around money. I understand that, but you always gotta leave room for God in your life, always. Because there's a lot of things in life that we don't understand, only God knows. Okay? And when you pass away, you don't want to be like every other idiot out there that wasn't prepared when you meet God. You want to be prepared, Emily. So that's why your dad taught you the best I can teach you. I want you to be safe on every angle. I don't want you just to be successful in this life, but also in God's eyes. I want you to also, you know, to be a good woman inside, Emily, because, you know, when God bless you, you will be with the right man in life. It's the truth, Emily. Only God can bless you with the right man in life. And I hope you can see that, because you're going to go through life and you're going to go through a lot of hard times, and I want you to go through so many different men in life, because you don't have to, you're smart in that. You only need one good man in your life. I mean, you want to stay with that man, Emily. You don't want to be with the wrong one. There's so many guys out there that'll lie to you, they'll take advantage of you, Emily. You know, like, they'll cheat on you, okay? But there's only one right man in this world, Emily. That's for you. And the only way you can find that man is through God. And I'm telling you the honest God truth, Emily. I know your mom doesn't understand God the way I do, but coming from a man, from my truth that I experienced in my life, Emily, God is good all the time. And He waits on us to come right to Him. It's not His fault why we struggle so much in life, why we struggle to have a relationship with Him. It's not His fault. It's our fault. And when you start confess your sins, taking responsibility, and being a good person, Emily, I can promise you, that's when He starts to listen to you. Because He is who He is. And you know what? We have to prove ourselves worthy to Him. So don't get it twisted. Don't let people go out there and lie to you. They want to tell you the way God is for themselves, because I'm telling you the honest God truth. You're talking to your dad that has a real relation with God. That I know when I'm in the right path and doing the right things by Him, He sends me the most beautiful dreams, okay? Those dreams that no one can't take away from me. I don't have to tell them to nobody. I know what I see. I know what He's showing me, but nobody else knows. That's my treasure. People don't have to know what I have. They don't have to know what God tells me, what He has done for me. They don't have to know nothing. The only thing I care about right now, Emily, is you. Because I'm your dad, and you're a part of me. If you like her or not, Emily, but your dad loves you. Okay? It's like, you know, like, you see how I am right now, Emily? It's because, you know what, like, you think that everything's all about me, but no, Emily, I love you too. The Vans that you see, like right here, the Vans, the hat, you see how I have the checkered, you know, to match, you know, my pants and my shoes? Well, Emily, you had a lot to do with it. I don't forget when I bought you your first Vans. That day made me very happy inside, because you were happy. You made me so proud. You were just so happy, and you're the best part of me, Emily. The best part, okay? I wish I could have recorded that and put that on camera, because I can promise you, baby, you would have been very famous, and a lot of people would have liked that. You always been good on camera. You're always good for showbiz, and I just don't want you to do it in the wrong way, Emily. I want you to do everything the right way. Make sure you're right with God before you make a fool out of yourself, Emily. There's a lot of people that will lie to you, Emily. In this world, when they see something good, they want to take it away from you, Emily. They don't care about you. They don't care about your life, Emily. They'll lie. They'll say whatever you want to hear to get to you and take what you have, Emily. You have to be your own boss, and that's one thing I will agree with your mom about. Okay, you do have to be your own boss, but don't let that get to your head, because there's good men out there, and you cannot let your pride cloud your vision, your best judgment, because some men, they may not be rich. Some good men, they may not have everything, but they work very hard. They're not lazy. They're not bums. They're good people, Emily, and you have to see that. So I know where you're at, and I understand why you are the way you are, Emily. As your father, I'm always gonna love you. I hope you know that, because you're a part of me, Emily. It doesn't matter how you end up to be. I'm your dad, and I'm always gonna love you, Emily. And I'm sorry if you think that I was being too rough with you, but Emily, I tried my best with you. Okay? Don't think that I don't care about you, because I know your age, and I'm not gonna say too much you can't handle, Emily. Okay, I love you. Okay? With my dad, he didn't care about age. He cared about success and results. By all means, I wasn't born successful, Emily, but I have all the characteristics and all the traits. I have everything it takes to be successful, Emily. Okay? With the way I do it, it's, you know, like, it's in a man's body. It's different than your way. And I don't expect you to be a man because you're not a man, Emily. I expect you to learn from your dad's mistakes and to be the best you can be, Emily. And I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to, I don't want you to think I don't love you. And it's hard for me to tell you this, Emily, because you don't understand that I love you. All I can do now is just have this kind of relationship like this. I wish I had you in my life, but at least you can see, Emily, you can see that your dad loves you. And I hope one day you can understand that, Emily. I hope one day you can love me the way I love you, Emily. I just want you in my life. I just want you to be my daughter. And I can teach you right from wrong. I can teach you what you need to learn, Emily. Okay? Because you're better than that, Emily. I don't want you to go through life having it so hard. I don't want you to think that you're alone, because you're not. You're a part of me, Emily. No matter where you're at, what you've gone through, there's a part of me that's always with you. But I'm still here. I still have a responsibility as your father to take care of you, Emily, if you like it or not. But I love you. I don't want you to think that I gave up on you, because it's not true. I've been waiting on you to have you make a decision that you want me in your life. And if you want to move with your dad, I can promise you I'm always going to take care of you. I can promise you that I'm going to be your dad, and I will make sure that you have the best life that I can possibly dream for you. You can have the best life and be always happy, and just live life the right way. Because you're talking to your dad that experienced all the bad stuff in life. And I don't want none of that to happen to you. None of that. Alright, baby, well, I'm going to wrap up this video. And I want you to know that no matter where you're at, that I love you, Emily. I love you. Okay? That's it.